My name is C, and today I'm doing something a little differently. So here's what we're doing. I love talking books, and there's some coming out that I'm excited to read. They might be new books. Sometimes it's just things on my TBR list that I would like to do. So I figured I can do this type of, I don't know what I'm calling this yet. You'll know at the same time I do. But I might be calling these my book talk WIP and chats. So I'm going to chat about some books that I'm excited to read for the next, I'm doing these quarterly. So this one will cover October, November, December. So I'm going to chat about some books I'm excited to read. I'm going to tell you what they're about, who the author is, when they came out, any reasonings on why I think I might like them. So yeah, we're just going to go into this. We're going to see how it works, and if you guys like them, then we'll just keep on doing them. Okay, let's jump right on into the first item. I think I have 9 books for you guys today, but we'll see. Okay, I was gonna say, these are also going to have, like, I'm gonna try and wrangle in a theme for these. So for October to December theme, I have magic, curses, creepy ancestral homes, and maybe some cozy fall vibes. And I know that's a lot, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. I have a little kitten chirping, so let me go rescue him and then we can get started. Okay, so the first book that I wanted to talk about was Hazelthorn by C.G. Drews. This one actually comes out October 28th. It is kind of like, it's young adult, it's horror, but it kind of sounds like there's a dash of fantasy in it. Before I get into my reasoning, let me read you the Goodreads description, and then I'll kind of chat about my reasonings. I think that's what we're gonna do. So anyways, yeah, October 28th, I'm so excited. Cool. Okay, let's read this. Evander has lived like a ghost in the forgotten corners of the Hazelthorn estate, ever since he was taken in by his reclusive billionaire guardian, Byron Lennox Hall, when he was a child. For his safety, Evander has been given 3 ironclad rules to follow. He can never leave the estate, he can never go into the gardens, and most importantly, he can never again be left alone with Byron's charming, underachieving grandson, Laurie. That last rule has been in place ever since Laurie tried to kill Evander 7 years ago, and yet somehow Evander is still obsessed with him. When Byron suddenly dies, Evander inherits Hazelthorn's immense Gothic mansion and acres of sprawling grounds, along with the entirety of the Lennox Hall family's vast wealth. But Evander's sure his guardian was murdered, and Laurie may be the only one who can help him find the killer before they come for Evander next. Perhaps even more concerning is how the overgrown garden is refusing to stay behind its wall, slipping its vines and spores deeper into the house with each passing day. As the family's dark secrets unravel alongside the growing horror of their terribly alive, bloodthirsty garden, Evander needs to find out what he's really inheriting before the garden demands to be fed once more. Okay, can we just talk about that whole messy relationship? I'm sorry, Evander and Laurie? What? I want to know what happened there. So yeah, that's one of the things I'm excited about. I actually read C.G. Drew's other book, Don't Let the Forest In. It was messy, it was gross, it was so wild. Every single time I thought I knew where the plot was going, I didn't. So I have high hopes that this one will be the same way, especially with like this creepy garden that's crawling in. Yeah. And like, sorry. Something about this relationship is so appealing. Like, why did Laurie try to kill him? Like, what happened? And like, I want to know what's going on with this forest. It sounds so interesting. Yeah. And I feel like the vibes for this is perfect for like an October read. I know it comes out at the end, so like it's a good Halloween read if possible. So anyways, that is Hazelthorn. Again, it's like YA horror, kind of sounds like there's a dash of fantasy with that creepy crawly forest. I don't know. Sounds interesting. I want to give it a shot. Okay, so that's the first one. The second book I'm really excited for. I actually got this one through Libro. So if you don't know, Libro is an audiobook subscription app, but they also offer audiobook listening copies for influencers, school staff, so librarians, teachers, and there was one more category and I can't remember. I am on the educator list. I got access through work. So with that program, you get access to roughly 25 to 30 books that you can choose from every month. A Curious Kind of Magic actually popped up for September, so I have an advanced reader's copy of it, of the audiobook. So I can read this one very soon. Anyways, Curious Kind of Magic by Mara Rutherford. I'm pretty sure I own a couple of her other books. I haven't read them yet, but I've heard good things. This book comes out October 21st. It is described as a young adult cozy fantasy. So I'll read you the book, or the little blurby, and we'll chat. Okay. It already has 4 stars on Goodreads. I mean, there's only like 200 ratings, but that's pretty good for a new release. Everyone knows that Willow Stokes is a charlatan, including Willow herself. Her father's shop hasn't sold anything magical in decades, and it's only hanging on by the skin of the fake dragon's teeth Willow sells as charms. Along with enchanted ostrich eggs, taxidermied chimeras, and talismans made of fool's gold. Until Outlander Brianna Hargrave appears and turns Willow's fakes into exactly what they're perpetrated to be. But try as Willow might to enlist Bree's help, she wants nothing to do with Willow and her curiosities. Because Brianna is harboring a secret of her own. Everything she touches turns to magic, and the consequences have chased her all the way to Artemir. All she wants to do is find a particular missing grimoire which contains a spell that can finally put an end to her curse. Desperate to keep her father's shop, Willow proposes a bargain that could save them both. Together with the frustratingly handsome printer's assistant, the girls will uncover a plot that goes far deeper than either could have imagined. But when Willow is forced to participate in an ambitious collector's quest for the rarest magical object in a world, a quest that risks almost certain death, she learns that not all treasure is for sale, and that true magic is closer than she could have ever imagined. I'm looking at these Goodreads genres, and I just see cozy fantasy, romance. I'm just like, it sounds like a lot, but I also think it's just going to be like the slow, cozy journey of like clearly friendship between these two girls, but then also some sort of building relationship with the apprentice. So I'm curious to see what type of bonds are formed from that. It's very much like the spell shop in my mind, just with like slightly higher stakes. So yeah, I mean, who knows? It sounds very cute and cozy. I say that as just like, this girl is cursed and just oops. But yeah, again, a lot of the reviews say good things, so we'll see. So yeah, Curious Kind of Magic. That might be when I start soon. Sounds very, very cozy. Anyways, the following book I have is I'm trying to get the link to work to the blurb, and it's not. Okay, the third book I have here is The Second Death of Locke by V.L. Bovalina. This one actually comes out September 23rd, so just in a couple of days. It is described as romantasy, which I am here for. Love me some fantasy with a dash of romance. So, here we go. Ooh, 4.26 and 1,000 ratings. That one's pretty good too. I know Goodreads ratings doesn't really matter much, but sometimes it's interesting to see where these numbers come into play. Anyways, Gray Flynn has dedicated her life to her mage, Kier. She will be his blade on the battlefield, his healer and protector. The deep well of raw power inside her is Kier's to use. Gray would do anything for Kier, be anything for him, if he would only ask. When a quest to protect the child of an enemy kingdom pulls them into the dangerous heart of their nation's war, Gray and Kier will need to decide what they are willing to sacrifice to protect their secret. For Gray is no ordinary magical well, but heir to the lost island of Locke, the root of all power. If she dies, all magic dies with her. Okay. And then there's a little, like, bold bit here. It's not a part of the actual description, but the second death of Locke is a devastatingly romantic, epic fantasy about the undying bond between a knight and their mage, which made me think, did anyone watch, like, 2005 BBC Merlin? Because, let me tell you, this book sounds like that final episode. I feel like that makes sense to very, very few people. But let me tell you, Merlin and Arthur's story was devastating. And if this is anything like that, that's right up my alley. Because, like, okay, Gray and Kier are just, like, sound like they are devastatingly devoted to each other, and more than they should be. It sounds messy, but it sounds really, really good. Considering that, like, the whole secrets thing, and they're willing to do anything to protect him. Ugh. Okay. And I was reading the reviews for it, and a lot of them have, like, I pulled a few key things from it, like, written in the stars romance, and found family, and just, the biggest keyword I saw was just yearning. So I'm like, you know what? Sounds messy and beautiful, and yeah, I want to read that. Anyways, and it sounds like a book full of heartbreak and misery. I feel like it also will have a happy ending, but I am still here for a painful journey to the end, let me tell you. So anyways, second death of Locke. Cool. Book 4 that I have, The Executioner 3 by Susan Dennard. Again, young adult fantasy, but also, like, deep, dark mystery wrapped up in there. Susan Dennard is another one where I have another series by her. I just haven't read it yet, but I would really like to. I can't remember what it's called, but I know the covers. Do you show me? No, you don't show me. Anyways, okay, whatever. So yes, The Executioner 3s. Again, I already have a copy of this audiobook from Libro through the ALC program. I actually got it early before the release date. I just haven't gotten around to reading it yet. But anyways, let's go. Freddie Geller didn't mean to get half the rival high school arrested. She simply heard shrieks coming from the woods, so she called the cops like any good human would do. How was she supposed to know it was just kids partying? Except the next day, a body is found, and while the local sheriff might call it suicide, Freddie's instincts tell her otherwise. So, like the expiring sleuth and true X-Files aficionado she is, Freddie sets out to prove there's a murderer at large. The description of the book sounds very, very simple. And then I read reviews, and a lot of reviews are like, there's rivalry and romance, but like a curse and supernatural symbols and events. So I'm like, oh, well, why was all of this left out of that description? So now I gotta know what's going on. Because you're telling me that there's supernaturals and curses and possibly dark magic in here? Alright, and it feels very much like your classic mystery, so yeah, this is one I have seen some fan art for, Okay, it's not fan art. I guess technically it is. Illumicrate has a special edition of this one, and the cover, gorgeous. I think there's characters on it, so yeah. Anyways, The Executioners 3. Yeah, rivals, romance. I'm here for it. I don't know where the romance comes in, but like, we can find out. That's easy enough. Okay, the 5th book I have for you, I have a lot of books here. The 5th one I have is actually Immortal Consequences by Ivy Marie. So this is one, actually, if you go back a week or two, maybe 3, depending when this one goes up. If you go back, I actually unboxed a Fairy Loot book, or a Fairy Loot box that had this book in it. So my edition was gorgeous. There's so much fan art in it. There is inlays. I'm just like, I can always be convinced to read a book with fan art. It's just a fact. This is a YA fantasy, dark academia, and hold on. Let me pull up. Yeah, see, this one is sitting at 3.79, but 7,000 ratings, which is really good. In my mind, that's like just shy of 4 stars for 7,000 reviews. Okay. Welcome to Blackwood Academy, the legendary school located at the fringes of the afterlife, where students are fated to spend the rest of eternity shepherding lost souls. Once a pupil enters the school's arched gates, there's no way out, except for the decennial, a once-in-a-decade celebration that rewards nominees who pass its trials with a choice. Formally graduate and join Blackwood's magical elite, or venture into the unknown and cross over to the mysterious other side. Ren Lottie is certain that the decennial, she has what it takes to earn the nomination, unless that is her academic arch-rival Augustine Hughes steals her spot. Irene Minette Bamford has never cared about playing by the rules. She's willing to break whatever and whoever stands between her and getting the hell out of Blackwood, including her best and only friend, Masika Salo. Olivia Dunpoint gave up on securing the nomination ages ago, but after he meets Blackwood's new student, Emilio Cordova, he'll do anything to keep Emilio from leaving him and crossing over to the other side, even if it means claiming the victory for himself. All of them are determined to be Blackwood's chosen candidate, and all of them would do anything to win. But none of them are prepared for what's to come, because this decennial will be different. This time, the decennial isn't a celebration, it's a competition, and there can only be one victor. 6 nominees, 4 trials, Untold Danger, Ren, August, Irene, Masika, Olivier, and Emilio are about to learn there are some fates worse than death. Okay, that just sounds awesome. Yeah. I had a tough time summarizing my thoughts on this one. Let me tell you, a battleground full of love and betrayal. Sign me up. Sounds like heartache and misery. And then you have 3 pairs with such wildly different dynamics, all aiming for the same goal, but willing to like throw the other under the bus. I don't know, it just screams of heartache waiting to happen. I also don't see this in any way getting to have like a nice little bow at the end again. And I'm kind of here for that. I am a firm believer that not all stories need to be wrapped up with a nice little bow with like happy ever afters. Sometimes, if you build up the stakes high enough, it needs to be a sad ending. And I feel like this one might have that, but it's also young adult. So sometimes young adult has been known to pull its punches at the end. I don't know. I'm all for, like, I'm just excited for a dark academia battleground. Also, I'm pretty sure all of our main characters are already dead. It sounds like everyone's already dead. And it's just like their souls duking it out, which, okay, fine by me. That sounds like an interesting world to explore. So yeah, those are kind of like the newer releases I had on this list. I also picked a few from my to-be-read list, so let's jump into that. Alright, so the first one on here is actually a series that I've read before. It is called The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. YA fantasy, but kind of just like small town fantasy. Let me read you the description and then I'll chat again. 4 stars, over 400,000 ratings. This is a well-loved series. It is freezing in the churchyard even before the dead arrive. Every year, Blue Sergeant stands next to her clairvoyant mother as the soon-to-be-dead walk past. Blue herself never sees them, not until this year, when a boy emerges from the dark and speaks directly to her. His name is Gansey, and Blue soon discovers that he is a rich student at Eglinby. Eglinby? The local private school. Blue has a policy of staying away from Eglinby boys, known as Raven Boys. They can only mean trouble. But Blue is drawn to Gansey in a way she can't entirely explain. He has it all. Family, money, good looks, devoted friends. But he's looking for much more than that. He's on a quest that has encompassed 3 other Raven Boys. Adam, the scholarship student who resents all the privilege around him. Ronan, the fierce soul who ranges from anger to despair. And Noah, the taciturn watcher of the 4, who notices many things but says very little. For as long as she can remember, Blue has been warned that she will cause her true love to die. She never thought this would be a problem, but now, as her life becomes caught up in the strange and sinister world of the Raven Boys, she's not so sure anymore. Okay. Let me tell you, those boys sound messy. Again, this is one I remember for, but I don't remember too much about it. Like, I read it 7-8 years ago now, I think. It's been a while. I just remember it being like the slow journey as mysteries unravels, as you get to learn more about these boys, because I mean, for who was it? Ronan, that switches between anger and despair. There's got to be something going on in the background there. And I remember it being like the perfect small town spooky vibes. So, and of course, I'm gonna love this whole like cursed love, and then the broken set of boys. I'm excited for a reread. I'm going to get this one through the school library program, I believe. I'm going to listen to the audiobook of this one. I'm pretty sure I read it the first time. I have a set of those books somewhere. I think they're on the bottom back there, but yeah. Anyways, The Raven Boys, one I am very excited to reread. There's a whole spin-off series for that one too. I think I tried to read that, but maybe I'll try again. Anyways, number 7 for this video is What Moves the Dead by T. Kingfisher. So recently in one of my vlogs, I said that I really wanted to start in on T. Kingfisher books. And I feel like this might be a good starting point because it is a shorter book. Anyways, it's horror, touch of fantasy. Let's check out the blurb here. When Alex Easton, a retired soldier, receives words that their childhood friend, Madeline Usher, is dying, they race to their ancestral home of the Ushers in the remote countryside, Ruvia? Sorry. What they find there is a nightmare of fungal growths and possessed wildlife, surrounding a dark, pulsing lake. Madeline sleepwalks and speaks in strange voices at night, and her brother Roderick is consumed with a mysterious malady of the nerves. Aided by a redoubtable British mycologist and a baffled American doctor, Alex must unravel the secrets of the House of Usher before it consumes them all. Alright. Another creepy lake, creepy animals, creepy house. Creepy house. I don't know, it just sounds like a creepy old book. And it sounds very similar to the CJ Drew books, just an adult version of them. I don't know, it sounds dark, disgusting, perfect for the season. Yeah. And I think it's a series. I know Owl Crate is doing a special edition of them, which is why it made it onto this list, because the special edition's like stunning. And there's fan art with it. So yeah, What Moves the Dead by T. Kingfisher. I know that they have some more like cozy fantasy books too that I want to get into, but I think I want to start here, just to match the season a little bit. Anyways, What Moves the Dead, followed by The Enchanted Greenhouse by Sarah Beck Durst. We are doing a 180 on vibes here. This one is a cozy fantasy. It's actually the sequel to The Spell Shop, which I recently finished and absolutely adored. When I first started The Spell Shop, it was very much of a right book, wrong time. So when I picked it up again and actually finished The Spell Shop, I really, really loved it. So, anyways, The Enchanted Greenhouse. It's a sequel, but it won't spoil anything that goes on in the first book if you haven't read it yet. I should say that. I'm gonna read the little blurb, but again, won't spoil anything. Turluperna broke the law because she was lonely. She cast a spell and created a magical sentient spider plant. As punishment, she was turned into a wooden statue and tucked away into an alcove in the north reading room of the Great Library of Elysium. This should have been the end of her story. Yet one day, Turlu wakes in the cold of winter on a nearly deserted island full of hundreds of magical greenhouses. She's starving and freezing, and the only other human on the island is a grumpy gardener. Ooh. To her surprise, he offers Turlu a place to sleep, clean clothes, and freshly baked honey cakes, at least until she's ready to sail home. But Turlu can't return home and doesn't want to. The greenhouses are a dream come true, each more wondrous than the next. When she learns that the magic that sustains them is failing, causing the death of everything within them, Turlu knows she must help, even if that means breaking the law again. This time, though, she isn't alone. Assisted by the gardener and a sentient rose, Turlu must unravel the secrets of a long-dead sorcerer if she wants to save the island, and have a fresh chance at happiness and love. It's a grumpy gardener, and she sounds like a nice, kind little lady. So I am hoping that this is like a grump sunshine vibe. Anyways, I am just so excited for another book in this world. There has been a third one announced called Sea of Charms. So, yay. But anyways, Enchanted Greenhouse sounds like the most adorable pick-me-up story. That's as much as I like books that hurt. Sometimes cute is always nice in the mix too. So, yeah, it just sounds like a sweet exploration of love and magic and second chances. I don't know. If it's anything like The Spell Shop, I know I'm in for just like a slow, cozy journey through magic. So, yeah, The Enchanted Greenhouse. Okay, we are on to the final book, and I actually wasn't going to include this one, but it needs to be added. It deserves an honorable mention. So come December, I am doing a reread of The Nightmare Before Christmas by Sarah Ash. Did I just read this one? Yes. Do I care? Nope. It's a fantasy rom-com, so it's a great time. Okay. Nicholas Cole Claus used to love Christmas. until his father, the reigning Santa, turned the holiday into a PR facade. Cole will do anything to escape the spectacle, including getting tangled in a drunken, supremely hot makeout session with a beautiful man behind a seedy bar one night. But the heir to Christmas is soon commanded to do his duty. He will marry his best friend Iris, the Easter princess, and his brother's not-so-secret crush. It's a situation that has disaster written all over it. Things go from bad to worse when a rival arrives to challenge Cole for the princess's hand, and Cole comes face to face with his mysterious behind-the-bar hottie, Hex, the Prince of Halloween. It's a fake competition between two holiday princes who can't keep their hands off each other over a marriage, a convenience that no one wants. I am just... Again, I've read this book, I've talked it to death, but I love it so much. Because, a Cole and Hex is just like my favorite kind of relationship. It's messy and sappy and everything broken but good. I love it. I love it so much. Yeah, I'm gonna do another reread around Christmas. So yeah, again, I've talked this book to death, so it's really hard for me to talk about it without just like gushing for 20 minutes straight. Yeah, I'm super excited. Again, and I will say this every single time I bring up this book, I am looking for books with similar vibes. Please, if you know of anything, let me know. Help a girl out. Okay, so those are all the books I would like to read soon. I don't know if I'm actually going to get to every single one of them. Again, it depends on when my audiobook credits come in, what's available between, what do I have? Audible, Libro, Spotify, Libby, Sora, and my second Libro account. So yes, I have a wide variety of places to get things, but not everything, always shows up when I need it to. So yeah, I'm gonna try my best to get to these. I had a few others on here, but I'm actually going to be reading them before this video goes up, so I didn't add them, because I felt like that was kind of cheating. I had things like Where the Dark Stand Still, let me pull up Libby so I can take a peek quickly, A Study in Drowning, and The Rose Bargain, Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies were all on my list. Paybacks, which was also on there. But yeah, those will be borrowed and read before this video even goes up. So I didn't feel like I should include them. So here's the thing. This is kind of like a new style of video, so it's one that I'm going to keep doing no matter what. I like talking books. I really want to do more bookish content. It'd still be mostly diamond painting. But like maybe do a book video once or twice a month. We'll see. So let me know your thoughts on this style. Is there something you wish I talked more about, less about? Maybe I should have done the blurbs differently. I don't know. I'm open to feedback, so let me know. And are any of these on your list? What are you excited to read next? Let me know all that good stuff in the comments. The next time I do this video will actually be formatted slightly differently, because this is the first one I wanted to load it heavy with books I want to read. Next time though, it's actually going to start with what on this list I read, and I'll be sharing my thoughts about them. Were they as good as I thought it was? Did it have like all of these things that I noticed? Like the found family in one of them, the messy relationships in another. Were those actually included? Who knows? We'll find out in the next video. And then I will do the next quarter of books. So it might be a longer one next time, I hope. But I'm excited to see how this turns out. I don't know. I just wanted to chat books for a bit, and now I'm rambling and repeating myself. So I'm gonna leave this one here. Let me know your thoughts down below and what you plan on reading for the next little quarter, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Okay. Oh, and let me know what you think about doing this style. By that, I just mean I've recorded all of me chatting first, and then I separated the audio and put it over top of a diamond painting clip. I did it separately because I figured my concentration would not hold out diamond painting and talking at the same time. And I figured it would give me a little bit more control over the sound volumes. If my diamond painting is really loud, there's lots of pops, lots of shaking, I can at least control the volume levels so that that's a little quieter, if that makes sense. So anyways, do we like this as like a voiceover style, or would we like a more true whip and chat? Anyways, okay. I'm gonna leave this one here. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.